Yeah, we're good.
All right, put this up here. All right, let's get this rock and rolling. Move this thing here. All right. If you give us a follow, we obviously appreciate that as well. So we'll answer some questions as we get through this. Go whatever you guys have questions on. We'll be happy to go through it. As we are going through this, also, we like to know where you guys are from. It's good to see. We'll see if I can get on here on this one so I can see some of these questions a little easier. So if one or other of these freeze, I will be able to see it. All right. Here we go. Got it up here too so I can look at both. All right. Cool. So we got some questions. We got a lot of people joining us. Let us know where you're from. Again, like the post. And at any time, if you guys do need a consultation, I will let you know that we do offer free consultations for anybody out in the United States. So if you're near one of our offices and you want to come in person, come see us. If you're not near one of our offices and you want to have a free consultation as well, you just call us 833-733-7878. Go to our website, attlaw.com. And, we'll be happy to jump in there. All right. So let's get into some of these. Is that Blida? If someone has a DACA, can you fix papers? So with DACA is not a pathway to residency or citizenship. It's not a pathway to any kind of permanent status in the United States. It is a deferred action, temporary in nature. So the idea, I believe, when they originally instituted this, is that it was going to obviously help children that were brought to the United States when they were young. They didn't have that choice, and they're here without status, to give them something while Congress worked out a long bill under the original DACA program. They are not taking new DACA applications anymore. They're only taking renewals of existing DACA. All right, so you have to still have a petitioner available to you in order to seek residency. You got to be a resident in order to seek citizenship. Generally speaking, of course. Obviously, there's exceptions to everything we're saying, but that's kind of the way it works. All right. Thanks for the follows. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. And the likes are a little slow in coming, so let's get the likes up. Let's get those going. The last few of these we've been rolling. We've got over 50,000 likes, which I know we can do again. Shouldn't be a problem. We always like to see the likes. That shows us the love that we're showing you guys. So there we go. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. We'll keep going. Yeah, we can get there. Absolutely. All right. LOL. Should Florida immigrants worry about Florida bill, the new Florida bill? So obviously there's been a lot of discussion about this. Towards an election cycle, it becomes big time in the news. And you see this in a lot of places. So Florida's a good example. We see that probably, not cynically speaking, but you're probably seeing that because the current Florida governor has designs on the White House from what we're being told. So we'll see. So where is he doing? He's positioning himself to the right of even President Trump. That's his positioning. That's what he's analyzed as his best chance at getting inroads to do something in the election. Now, sounds like a pretty harsh bill. Sounds like a pretty harsh bill. If it goes through, it would be one of the most stringent in the nation. So we're going to see how that goes. I don't really like to comment on certain bills until they get passed because a lot of this stuff is done for just political purposes. And I think a lot of the hand-wringing is premature. Usually is, because a lot of times cooler heads prevail on this stuff. So if this gets closer to being passed as a law, I'll certainly get out here and talk to you guys a little bit more about it. But right now, I think it's just a little premature to worry about it. All right. Obviously, we want to keep an eye on it, but there's some other things in immigration we want to keep an eye on as well. We just put out a video not 15, 20 minutes ago about the expiration of Title 42 that's coming up on May the 11th. So that coincides with the expiration of the federal COVID public health crisis that was declared a few years ago. They kept extending it. It was supposed to expire over a year ago, and they extended it into December of last year, and they extended it again. I don't think it's getting extended again this time, so I really do think it's going to expire at this point, and it's going to have some pretty... After our live, go take a look at the video. We'll be posting some more updates on that, but it's just a few days away. It's going to have a pretty big impact on what we see, not only here in Texas, but immigration in general. All right. All right, Bibsy Edwards, my RFE is 75 days. What's my options? So an RFE is a request for evidence. That's when the government has your petition in front of them and they have more questions for you. Some of them are rather simple. Maybe you're missing a document. Sometimes they just didn't see a document you actually included and they need to re-see it. Sometimes you got to point out to them what's already there. But you definitely need to respond to that within the deadline. If you don't respond to it, you are risking them denying your application entirely just for a missed RFE. If you already submitted it, then good for you. It just kind of depends on what. You guys continue to give us likes here. We're going to keep going through this. I'm going to answer as many of your questions as I can, okay? Alicia, can someone file if they have a child with autism? So when we're talking about children with disabilities, there's only certain types of immigration processes that those are going to come into play. There's not, generally speaking, a residency or some other petition that you can file just based on having a child with disabilities, all right? Now, if you're in immigration court, that might be different. There are certain things you can file based on that. Outside of court, outside of maybe a humanitarian parole, which can be difficult, having a child with autism, it may not give you any advantage in the immigration system. Now, if you have questions or if you think that if some reason that you can't apply for something, obviously we're here to help. We can talk you through what your options are or not. That's what we're here for. We give honest assessments of what they are. So you'd want to give us a call, 833-733-7878. Set your consultation with us. We'd be happy to talk to you. KD, time frame for the 601A. So processing times for a waiver, 601A, for instance, 24 to 36 months is what the government is telling us. I am seeing that to be true, and our clients, I'm seeing it being closer to actually the 36 months rather than the 24 months. So yes, it's taken almost 3 years to get through those things, okay? All right. My mom is a U.S. citizen. Can she file for me even though I'm older than 18? I have an old petition. So yes, she can. So you can be an adult and have one of your parents file a petition for you. If your parent is a citizen filing for you, then it doesn't matter if you're married or divorced, they can file for you. Now, what I will tell you is that it's going to be a petition with a rather lengthy wait time based on the visa bulletin. That's the difference. So they can file for you. If they file for you when you're a minor, much faster process. When you become an adult and your parents filing for you, much longer. Okay, I'm talking like decades longer. Big time difference, okay? So yes, they're eligible, but you just got to be aware of what the visa bulletin says out there, okay? All right. Kelly, do you know of any good lawyers to give my husband citizenship? So yeah, obviously your husband's first got to become a resident of the United States, and then once he is a resident for either 3 or 5 years, depending on how he got it, that's when he can submit that N-400 to become a naturalized United States citizen. If you need help on that stuff, obviously we do immigration, and feel free to give us a call. We do free consultations, all right? Consulta gratis. Is it possible to expedite the 601 or 601A? It is not. There's no expediting available. Everyone else, unfortunately. I know it's frustrating. All right, number to call. Frankie will ping it out here. But you can go to our TikTok bio, and while you're there, give us a follow. We always appreciate that. attlaw.com. If you're not able to get through right now on the phones, what I will tell you is when we go live on these things, you got to understand a lot of calls are coming into our call center. So, what I suggest is, either you can try during this thing or just write the number down. When we're off of here, give it a little time and call again. Someone will surely answer the phone. It's pretty overwhelmed during this thing. So I think they get a little... hour or so. All right. Mighty Melvin, can you start the immigration process while engaged? So not if your petitioner is your fiance, unless you're doing a fiance visa, of course. But if you're talking about doing a residency petition, no, you'd have to be legally married. And so you got to be legally married before you enter that first petition, okay? All right, keep going. You guys can give us some more likes on here. We can get this thing going. Let me know where you guys are from too. Also, it's always good to see where everyone's from out there. What I'll tell you is, we're an immigration firm in Texas. We have several offices in Texas. But we help clients all over the United States. All right. So we do have clients all over the U.S. It is a federal law. It's federal jurisdiction. So we can practice in all U.S. jurisdictions. So we help people everywhere. We make it very easy to work with us. Look at that. Los Angeles right now. We have Pakistan. Cool. A lot of people out there. Since 2015 for a married daughter over 21 and no answer. Can you help with this? Let me try to wrap my head around what you just said there. My dad filed an I-130, I guess in 2015 for his daughter who is married. That's what I'm guessing you're saying. So if a parent is filing a petition for their child and the child's married, that means the parent has to be a United States citizen. So if your dad's a resident, that type of petition is not going to work. If your dad was a citizen and filed, then yes, that's a good petition, but you have to understand time until it matures and they're able to take action. I know our internet is slow. I'll tell you why. Because we can't use Wi-Fi to do these things in here. I'm at work. They have a social media policy. Our IT has a social media policy. So, all these folks out here can't just sit there and surf Instagram all day or TikTok. Got to get some work done. So I know it's kind of annoying. It gets a little faster. Frankie, I feel like it's faster in my office.
Yeah, I've noticed when I was rewatching some of your lives, they were kind of going a lot.
They're going a lot faster. Yeah. But in this office, not so much. Yeah. So sorry, we're doing the best we can. Maybe we'll even move this thing in a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, we could just move with it real quick.
Maybe we should. All right. You know what? Keep asking questions. We're going to move this thing, try to get it to a quicker moving area.
Little office tour.
Little office tour, yeah. Let's just head down the hall. We're good. It's not so hot in here.
Yeah. That's solid, or should I just transfer it over to this one?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's transfer it over. All right. A little behind the scenes action.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I think that works. There we go.
Okay. We'll go manually.
Hopefully. Oh, there you go. There's Dallas. If you guys didn't believe me, that's where I am. Let's go. I'm going to move this over here. It's a little more comfortable for me to stand. Right. There we go. All right. Here we are. Back again. Okay. Can you do a consultation without the person who filed a petition? Yeah, of course. So when you're talking about immigration residency processes, generally there's two parties. There's the petitioner and there's a beneficiary. Most of the time when we're doing a consultation, it's just with one of them. Sometimes it's, both. They're both there. But a lot of times we're just talking to one. And if they come on board as a client, they're technically both our clients. So we just need to confirm information and things like that. All right. Married to a U.S. active soldier, recently applied for PIP and got denied. I have a deportation order. Yeah, so parole in place, you can file that through a spouse that's in the military. Now, when you're talking about those types of things, they're highly discretionary, all right? So they have the right to deny them. I've seen a lot more denials on parole in place and advanced parole recently than I have in a very long time. So, I would say, I'll tell you, you're not the only one that we've seen this on. And some of them, I just don't understand what they're doing by denying these. If you have a deportation order, I'm sure they took that into consideration in denying the parole in place. So if there's a way to get relief from that deportation order, depending on how you got it, that might be your first step before trying to refile. Yeah, thanks everybody for liking and for following. We always appreciate it. All right. Jackie Gonzalez, our interview was canceled because our 601A is still pending. Yeah, that's happened to a lot of people. So their consulate appointment gets ahead of where the 601A is. I always recommend you do not leave the country for a consulate appointment until you get your waiver approved. Otherwise, you could be getting out there and going to a consulate appointment in Juarez or wherever the consulate is and being told you have a 10-year bar and there's nothing they can do. You don't want to be in that position. You want to have that waiver approved before you go. All right. Thanks for following, Jen. Appreciate it. I'm in Dallas. What's the time frame for advanced parole? I mean, I can guess at these things. I'll tell you around 6 to 8 months, much longer than it used to be. A good way to find out how long a processing time is, okay? Go to USCIS's website, all right? USCIS.gov, I believe. Go there. You can select processing times. You can select your exact petition, what you filed. You can select the processing center, and they will give you the government estimated wait time. And you can almost assure it's going to be at least that or even a little bit longer. Okay. They're still being conservative on there for some reason. It's actually much longer than they're telling you, than they're letting on. For instance, there's a question, how long does a waiver usually take? It says on the government website 24 to 36 months, I believe. My experience is it's around 36 months, about 3 years it's taking to get an adjudication on those things, which is crazy. All right. Are you able to pick up from where my old lawyer process is? Because my lawyer is not telling nada. So, yeah, most likely, yes. It's not unusual that people would change immigration lawyers, especially if they're in a very long-term process. Sometimes these processes take 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Sometimes people move. Sometimes people just get frustrated. They just want a change of representation. So just depending on where you are in the process would depend on if it makes sense for you to even move to another attorney. Sometimes it's just better to stick with where you are, but sometimes not. Sometimes there's a natural breaking point and it's easy to move. We do free consultations, so we'll be able to assess what you have filed and what you need to file still and what the processing times look like. We would tell you all of that in a consultation so you can make an informed decision whether it makes sense to just stay where you are or if you want to look for alternative counsel. We're there for that. Just give us a call. All right, 833-733-7878. There you go. Brazil in the house. Nice. Good to see you. I've been to Brazil. Very nice, beautiful country. Teresa, we do take New York cases. I have several clients in New York. A lot of clients in New Jersey and New York. Obviously, immigration, there's quite a few people that need assistance there. And we help people. Florida cases as well. Absolutely. New York City, Florida, we take cases, both those places. In Texas, that's where I am. Of course, we take cases there. We take cases all over the country. Okay. So we do in-person consultations thanks, Frankie. I'm good to hear that. Connection's quicker. We do in-person consultations if you're near one of our offices here in Texas. If you're not, we do phone and virtual consultations. They're all free of charge. You meet directly with an attorney, whether me or one of the other senior attorneys, and we will go over your case. We'll assess what it is and what it means, and look into it for you. We'll give you your answers, all right there in the consultation. And then if you choose to come on board, we make it very easy to work with us. All right. Orlando, I have DACA. Wife is a citizen. What should be our first steps for her to petition for me? So, that's great that you're thinking about moving into more of a permanent status in the United States. So it kind of depends on how you came to the United States. But let's say you came to the United States without a visa. Now you have DACA. Have you used that advanced parole? Have you traveled legally? Not. Do you have unlawful presence? Not. Some of these questions need to be answered. Obviously, different circumstances in their backgrounds. Okay. It's not all linear, just depending on having DACA and having a United States citizen spouse. It's going to depend on your background also. Okay. Change this and get like a weird lighting or something. I can barely see in here. It's a reflection off of this. All right. Anyways, If you guys will give us likes on here, we appreciate it. Let's get the likes up. What are we, 6,000? Could do better than that. I've been talking for a little while. We can get the likes up. Go on, there we go. We can do better. Like it up, like it up. We can do better. Come on. Let's get them up there. Sorry if it's freezing. I'm doing my best to get it going. Yeah, this is Dallas, absolutely. Dallas. Depending on where I'm tilting this thing, you can see the Reunion Ball, you can see the green building, Bank of America Tower, all those things. All right, thanks for the likes. Here we go. Keeping them going. We're getting them up there. Very good. Nice, Tris. Me too. All right, submitted a 485 for my husband. How long is the wait? Do you sue US? My lawyer said, no. We don't. It's there's not much you can do about suing for processing times. People's processing times are wildly different. But if you're talking about an adjustment of status, generally takes around 12 months. If you filed it during the height of the pandemic, you could have got lost in the shuffle, and it's going to take you longer. It's just going to take inquiries and making them push through the system. William, can you take a court case for tomorrow? That is pretty close. What are we at? 4 p.m. I don't know that we could take it for tomorrow. If it's a first appearance, you might want to come for a consultation as soon as you possibly can. Obviously, give us a call. I think taking one for tomorrow might not give us enough prep time here. But if you can get some kind of a continuance on your own, absolutely come see us. All right. Jess, if I filed for someone and the marriage didn't work, can I file for someone else? Yes, absolutely. So there's no limit on the amounts of people you can petition for or you can sponsor into the United States. They might have some questions on that as you go through the process, but it's relatively common. All right. Apple Aquino, can you start filing for the adjustment even if medical is not done yet? Yes. And in fact, we do that a lot of times because adjustments are taking so long now that they'll just, they'll give you an opportunity to file that medical exam later in the process. So you don't necessarily have to wait till it's all done. All right. We've got it 9,000 here. We're doing good. We could keep it going. And if you guys are out there, you do need a consultation from us. Easy to find in our TikTok bio is a phone number you can call. If you're not getting through during this live, I can just tell you they get very busy with phone calls during these lives, that you might want to just, wait for a few minutes or wait till we go off and then call, and then you can get in, or if not, call tomorrow morning, something like that. Just have the number available and you can make that consultation, whether it's by the phone. If you are in Texas and you're near one of our offices, you can come in person. If you're not in Texas and you just want a phone or a virtual consultation, we offer those free of charge as well. I'll be talking to you directly, or one of our senior attorneys who know this stuff just as well as me. Trust me. The consultations, Kimmy, they are free. So we're out there. We give free consultations. We'll go over your process. If you do want a consultation, the tip I always tell people is have your paperwork ready. So if you filed anything previously you want to discuss, if you are in immigration court and you have court documents that were given to you either at the border or you've been to court and you've been handed something, have those ready, because we'll have questions and we'll be able to give you a more thorough outlook on your case if you have that stuff ready right there. And we won't go so much off memory, which can be difficult sometimes. There's some nuanced stuff, obviously. All right, cool. We got some more follows. We're getting a lot of likes. We're over 10,000 now. We're moving along. Need to keep it going. All right, I feel like I need to pace myself or something. There we go. Maybe I should pace myself. Get myself talked out. All right. What's VAWA? All right, what's VAWA? So VAWA is the Violence Against Women's Act. All right, Violence Against Women's Act. So what that means is if you've been the victim of abuse from a legal permanent resident or U.S. citizen spouse, okay, you're either married to them or within 2 years of divorce, then you can potentially file for this VAWA. It's like a deferred action. It can act as a parole. It can help you seek residency in the United States without the assistance of that spouse. You have to prove that that abuse was there, though. Physical, or it could be, it could be psychological as well. I mean, there is something called a fiance visa. So she'd have to apply for you as her fiance to bring you here. And then I can tell you that's a long process, though. Not telling you if that's good or bad or not, just that's how it is. All right. Sorry, there's a lot of, if I haven't answered your questions because they're flying by, I'm trying to get to as many of these out here as I can. If you guys will just like this. If you go to our TikTok bio, one thing I'll tell you, if I'm not able to get to your question, a good way to reach out to us is direct message through Instagram. Okay, that's the place to reach out to us. Much lower follower count. If you follow us on Instagram and you send us a direct message, we will see it. Okay, we don't see it if you don't follow us and you send a message or something. It goes into this hidden requests folder. There's hundreds of them in there. I opened it a couple of times, semi-anxiety from looking at it. I'm not going to look at those things. But if they come to our general or known folder from, people that follow us, we can see it. And after this, when we see the follows and the direct messages, me, Frankie, the team goes through them. We will get back to you. It might not be the same day, might not be the next day, but we'll get back to you. We'll try to answer. You might not want to post out here, or maybe you just had a follow-up question if I answered something. If I answer one of your questions from here. All right. So the general advice on this is that you want a 5-year going for an N400. When you're saying assault, it depends. There's a lot of differences there. I mean, that's a state law, obviously. Attorney Andrew Thomas. You'll find us there. Is the internet messing up? Let's see if I can get over there. Let's do this. See if that helps a little bit. Just trying to get some signal here. This is crazy. Jump you right over. Hit the follow and then send us a direct message. Am I a senior partner? I don't know how you want to classify it. I guess I could say I'm the owner of the firm. My name's on it. So I guess you could say that. Jennifer, what I was saying, if you can hear me now, you want to have a 5-year window before you're filing an N400, basically with no arrests. Okay, no arrests. Or if you do have an arrest, a very minor one maybe. But other than that, you want to be pretty clean for your 5 years going into an N400. All right. Junior, I am based in Texas. Do we do U visa cases? Yeah, absolutely. So U visas are for victims of certain types of crimes. Okay, so you have to be a victim of a qualifying crime. You have to show that you are helpful to prosecutors. You got to be helpful to them, so you got to seek that certification first. If you're able to get the certification, you can then follow through. Within 6 months of the certification, you can file the I-918 and the rest of the stuff, the work permit application and all those things. All right. All right. Pending affirmative asylum with USCIS since 2017. Any updates to expedite? No. I mean, I've talked to people who filed their affirmative asylum long before you did in 2017. There's people that have been waiting 15 years for an interview. So asylum policy is all over the board. It's such a political football. Each new administration that comes in has their own ideas of how they want to handle it. The Trump administration decided to take in what they call first in, first out. So the people that were filing asylums were getting the first interviews instead of working from the bottom up. Now it's a little different. They're trying to go back, but it's a little bit of a mess. That's also going to be further complicated when we see Title 42 expire on May the 11th, which is 3 days away. So that's going to be pretty crazy. We're going to see how that works. How long does an adjustment of status take? It takes around 12 months. It's a good estimate for you. So you can always go to USCIS's website and type in your process, what processing center it's from, and you can see how long that's going to take. All right. Our likes have really gone down on this thing. A lot of people out there, not a lot of likes. We're at only 12,000. Wah, wah. We need to get more than that. We need to get that going. We need to get the likes going again. There we go. Come on. Thanks, guys. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. How long does it take to get an approved I-130? About the same amount of time as it does for an adjustment of status, all right? 12 months is a good estimate. The likes, there we go. All right. All right, is it true a parent can give their single daughter? Now, if a parent is a U.S. citizen, they can file for their child whether the child is single or married. If they're a resident, they can only file for their child if the child is single. But I will tell you those types of processes, if the child's an adult, takes quite a long time. All right, you got to look at the visa bulletin and the wait times, but it can be quite lengthy. The likes are going, feeling more energized. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I cannot help expedite a case with USCIS. No, that's kind of not the way it works. Yeah, if there's, Alicia is kind of right there. It's not necessarily easier if they're single, but the wait time is going to probably be less, right? For sure. Can you tell me about the voluntary departure? Yeah, that's something that's offered to a lot of people when they come into the United States at the border. Instead of fighting their case, they're allowing them to voluntarily leave. Not a forcible deportation, or it could be a court thing. You could petition for a voluntary departure where you're not being, forced and put on a bus or a plane to be deported. They're giving you a X amount of time to leave the country on your own and then report down in your country that you're actually there. So other than that, I'm not sure what else you want me to comment on that. Can my son petition for me if I have a DUI? Yeah, I mean, usually a singular DUI is not going to prevent you from becoming a resident of the United States. Obviously, every state law is a little different. When we're talking about criminal charges like DUIs, that's generally a state law, so they're all a little different. And they'll affect the process a little different way. But if we're talking about a singular DUI without any extenuating circumstances or anything, usually it's okay. Anniker, can I file the I-130 and I-485 at the same time? So provided you qualify for both of those, provided you qualify for the adjustment of status, yes, you can file them at the same time. That's one of the beauties of the adjustment of status. All right, I can keep rapid fire answering these as long as these the likes continue. There we go. Will a 601A speed up anytime soon? I hope so. I'm not seeing it. Everything's getting a little bit longer. I hope everything speeds up a little bit, but it just seems to creep more and more and more. It used to go from around 12 months, then it was up to 24 months. Now I'm seeing 36-month processing times. It's getting a little out of control. I don't know how much longer it can possibly go without them doing something to help the backlog. All right. I'm not seeing them hire any new agents or anything like that, but I'll say in some things they are trying to make some amends. Like if you're talking about an adjustment of status through a marriage, they're starting to waive those interviews. They're not even having them anymore in a lot of cases to expedite it. So, I mean, that's great. All right. Thank you. Let's keep it going. We're going with the likes. The likes are doing really good. I appreciate that. If you guys have not followed us already, do so. If you haven't followed us on Instagram and you want to direct message us, just follow us on Instagram. Shoot us a direct message. We answer them all. Okay. If I haven't answered them right away, I will get to them. Obviously there is a time I get off social media entirely. That's usually when I go home, when I hug the wife and kids, the phone is down. I'm not dealing with social media at that time. I don't do it personally. It's just more of on a professional basis, but I will look, follow. They go into a different, if you go to the TikTok bio, you'll click the little button that says Instagram. It'll jump you right over. Feel free to follow us there. We would appreciate it, and send us a direct message if you have something you'd like to talk to us about. All right. Sunflower, would a pardon be needed if someone entered with a tourist visa? So it's a broad question that you're answering. I can't answer it necessarily always, but most likely not. Okay, so if you entered with permission, you most likely don't need it, but maybe you do. It depends on who your petitioner is, for one, and it depends on what else is in your background. Okay, but if you're talking about a waiver for an illegal entry, then no, but it depends on who your petitioner is. So there's some more nuance to it for me to give you just a straight out answer. Was that a lawyer enough answer for you, where I kind of talk and you don't really understand? No, I try to break it down and let you guys know, but it's hard to be so black and white when we're talking about these issues. They're not that simple. I lawyered it up for you, didn't I, Frankie? All right, I try not to lawyer it up too much. Thanks for the likes. We like to see them going. Thanks, guys. Let's keep it rocking. All right. After a request for evidence, should I send my medical in with it? Yeah, most likely. If you're getting towards the end of it and you haven't already submitted a medical exam and you're required to, that's probably a good time to do it. Will a pardon be needed if you enter on a visitation visa? So I just answered a version of this question earlier. The answer is maybe, maybe not. It depends. Okay. If the classic scenario, like if you're doing a residency petition through a U.S. citizen spouse, you entered with a tourist visa, you don't have any other immigration bars on your record, then the answer is probably you do not need a waiver or a pardon or a pardon, whatever you want to call it. You probably don't. But if it's outside of that circumstance I just described to you, then maybe you do. It just depends. Okay. There it is. I'm lawyering it up today. All right. Monica, my boyfriend was deported, but not by a judge, only by CBP. I'm a citizen. Can I help him? So yeah, possibly you can. So when you're talking about a deportation, that's a term of art. They don't all mean the same thing. So if he tried to enter the United States and he was just turned back, it might not be considered an expedited removal, or it might not be considered an outright deportation. It might be considered a voluntary return, and then he re-entered the United States and never left. You might very well be able to help him get all the way to residency. Obviously, you have to get married, right? You know that. So you to be a petitioner for him, you have to have, that legal relationship. Looks like Venezuela in the house. Nice to see you. All right. My husband lost his permanent residency card at the airport. Can he apply for citizenship without it? So here's the answer. Yes, he can apply for it, but he needs a current and unexpired green card when he goes to his interview for his N400. So he needs to apply for a replacement for sure. All right. It's easy to do. It takes some time to get, but he needs to enter that for a replacement card. He can file them at the same time. He can file for his residency or his replacement green card and for his N400 at the same time, but he's going to need that card when he goes to his interview. Okay. We are, Mary Jane, we are located in Texas. All right. But we help people all over the United States with immigration. That's what we do. Have a lot of clients, obviously a ton of clients in Texas here where we have all our offices, but we have a ton of clients all over the United States. And we've helped people from coast to coast. Including Alaska and Hawaii. I have a couple of clients, but we've helped people all over the United States with their immigration purposes. Just give us a call if you need help, 833-733-7878. You can go to our bio there in TikTok. While you're there, please follow us. Get notified when we go on live like this. But, we're here to help the gospel. I don't know about Canada. I mean, if you're looking to immigrate to the United States, I mean, we can certainly talk to you about it. If you have a family-based process, we can kind of walk you through what it is. All right. What about the humanitarian parole for persecuted refugees? Yeah, I mean, we've helped people with humanitarian parole. That's a very discretionary process. They're all very different. I mean, obviously circumstances change from person to person, especially when you're talking about a discretionary thing like humanitarian parole. So it just depends on your background. We would advise whether, if that's going to be a pretty difficult case or something that may have a chance. That's a hard one to really get a handle on, though. Okay, Gabriella, my dad was banned for 10 years and my brother is in the military, wants to fix him. Is that a hard process? We would have some, I would have some follow-up questions for you. So your brother may be able to help him, okay? And he may be able to help him just partially, or he may be not able to help him at all. He might be able to help him just with a military parole in place. He might be able to help him get him a work permit, but maybe not all the way to residency, depending on your dad's background, okay? If he violated the 10-year bar and now he has a permanent bar, maybe just a military parole in place. If your dad served out the whole penalty, he had a 10-year ban, he served it out, he's ready to proceed, he can possibly then even help him all the way to residency. All right. Hey, Juanita, chill out a little bit. I'm not skipping anybody's question on purpose. Trust me. Questions are going by. I'm trying to answer as many as I can. Thanks for the likes, guys. Appreciate it. Can a 19-year-old help with a green card? If yes, how? It depends on their relationship to you. Okay. Depends on the relationship to you. But generally, got to be 21. Okay. All right. Look, we're almost at 40,000 likes. Just good team today. Good group out here. No worries, Monica. Hope that helped. Can Mexicans adjust status at this time? Of course. Yeah. So adjustment of status doesn't differentiate based on country of origin, anything like that. Adjustment of status is a very valid process. In fact, it's a great process if you qualify for it. Relatively fast by immigration standards. Around 12 months. When I first got into this game, 4 months. So we'd file an adjustment 4 months later, someone would have their green card. Now we're seeing it be about 12 months, which is for immigration fast at this point. Can someone apply for asylum after 6 years? So the general rule of thumb and the general policy is that an asylum has to be declared. You have to enter your asylum petition within 12 months of coming to the U.S. or your particular situation. All right. So if you're facing constant threats, even if you've been here for 30 years, but you're still being threatened all the time from something back in your home country, you can absolutely declare for asylum and file that petition. All right. Obviously, that's a little more of an unusual circumstance, but that's the rule. Mary Cruz Ibarra, is it better to do advanced parole or do the perdon? That's a good question. So it's good that you're thinking about this. So let's say the classic example, let's say you have DACA and you have a spouse petitioning for you now, and you're trying to decide, well, should I travel and re-enter and let him file an adjustment for me? Or should we just go down the path of, filing the I-130, filing the unlawful presence waiver, and then doing consular process? It's easier if you can get the advanced parole approved and actually travel. But what I will tell you, practically speaking, advanced paroles are getting more and more and more difficult to get approved. All right. So they are difficult. You need a good reason, a good compelling reason why you're traveling. The reason can't be I'm traveling to fix an illegal entry. It can't be that. It's got to be something else. So your situation, I can't advise you on that here. But if you have a question on those things and you'd like to talk it through, that's what we're here for. We'll listen to all your background and the things that you're thinking about. And then at the end, we'll give you what we think is probably the best play for you. Ultimately, your decision. But we like to put the power in your hands, give you the knowledge so you understand how those things go. Marquez, when you guys are calling during this live, I can tell you the phone lines are jammed right now. So if you guys will hang tight until this thing's up, there'll be a lot more available to answer for you. All right. There we go. Thanks for the likes. We're getting it moving up here. I think we got a lot of people following us. If you guys have not followed us and you're on here, go follow us. Follow us. We're a good follow, especially for a law firm, right? I know TikTok's mostly fun and games, but might as well get some information while you're out here. Give us a follow. Thanks, guys. All right. How soon can I file the I-130? That's a great thing. Obviously, it's difficult to win asylum. But if you get an asylum and you're looking for when you can file for your residency, all right? That's the question. When can you file for residency? Not necessarily the I-130, all right? 12 months. So you got to have 12 months from the time you were granted that asylum before you can file for your residency. Good luck to you. If you do need help with anything like that, obviously reach out to us. We do quite a bit of asylums, people getting granted them. You've seen some of the stories if you've ever followed our TikToks, or probably just TikTok on this crowd. But if you've ever seen our Facebook or Instagram, you've seen quite a few of the stories that we've handled. All right. I'm a U.S. citizen. So is it Sarah? I'm a U.S. citizen. Husband is in Mexico. Filed the I think you're saying I-130. It says it's actively being reviewed. How long? So if you go to USCIS's website, they'll give you a very good estimate on how long it takes. But I will tell you an I-130 practically is around 12 months, almost to a month, May 2024, maybe longer because things are starting to take longer than they used to. All right. TS, can a sponsor two people? Yes, a sponsor can sponsor as many people as they can afford. All right. It's all based on their income level. So yeah, they can. There's not a prohibition against it or anything like that. All right, check this. All right, we're good. User, I answered your question already. All right, a lot of questions on here. Let me get back up and answer some of these that I missed up here. Thanks for the likes. There we go. All of a sudden get this influx of likes. Just like then bam. Gets me going a little bit more. All right. Mr. Krabs, hi, my mom was fixing papers with her brother, but her brother died while doing so. What can my mom do? Okay, so it depends on where they were in the process and where your mom was in the process, all right? It's possible that she can continue on the petition even when the petitioner is deceased, but it depends on their background. Okay, where was your mom physically? Where were they? What had they filed? How far along was that process? Or, can't do anything. It could have terminated the whole process. It really depends, okay? Trying to hedge my bets. If she was far in, Mr. Krabs, it might be worth a look, all right? I would seek a consultation from an experienced attorney. Take the petition with whatever approvals or whatever petitions you have. Take it with you to a consultation and, ask the attorneys. All right. Tanya Esquivel, if people testify for a waive through entry through the port of entry, would they be affected? Yeah, I mean, that is a process that exists. Those, you were waived through, so therefore you're eligible for a special type of an adjustment of status. I'm not sure what your question is exactly, but, merely going on record to help somebody else out generally doesn't have an adverse effect on your immigration status. My husband has one illegal entry. Does he have a chance? Does he have to leave to fix? So if he just has one illegal entry and he's been here ever since, he has a definite chance at permanent immigration status. Now, he's most likely, yes, going to have to do consular processing, but just at the very end of the process, usually. If he does everything the right way, and let's say you're a U.S. citizen or you're a resident, you're willing to help him, and he does everything in the right way, he files the right petitions, he files the waiver that he needs to file, sets up his consular processing, odds are he's only going to be outside the country 2, 3, 4 weeks tops. So you can limit that time outside the country greatly if he does things in the right order and files the right things. It's going to take a while to get there. I mean, processing times are getting longer and longer, but he probably has a pretty good process available to him. We're at 45,000. We can get over to 50,000 easy on this. Easy. I do have papers myself, for sure. All right. All right, Sujay, thoughts on a U visa? So yeah, U visa is obviously if you're the victim of a certain type of crime, a qualifying crime, and you're helpful to the police or the district attorney or the judge even, and you're helpful to them in prosecuting the actual offender. If those things are true, you could seek a U visa certification. If you do get the U visa certification, you then have 6 months to apply. U visa can be a great process. It can also be a very long choice. So you can do a U visa even if you have, say, a previous deportation order. If you're barred from another process, you can still potentially seek a U visa. All right. Public policy being they want people to come forward and help them put criminals away. They don't want them to be in fear just because of their immigration status that they're not going to, report crimes. All right. Why is it taking so long for a change of status and work documentation to come through? It's just a backlog in the system. Hopefully it's most likely nothing to do with your particular process. Things are just slowing down for everybody. I wish you good luck, though. I hope it gets done for you really soon. All right. We're almost there, guys. Evelyn, I am not in Houston at the moment, but I am there very often. Right now, I am in Dallas. All right, decision. You know, they're saying 24 to 36 months. So for you, Taniel, I answered the asylum question a little earlier for you. All right. Shamrock, do you have to leave if an F1 visa is expiring but married to an LPR and filing concurrently? Tough break, lost your mom's green card. You have to file for a replacement. There's a simple, there's a simple form for that. You just have to file for it, okay? Okay. Gracielito, what states do you come to? So we help people all over the United States, all right? So we do phone and virtual consultations. We make it very easy to work with us wherever. I do travel around the United States quite a bit. So my clients are everywhere from New York to New Jersey, Florida, name it. North Carolina, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana. I just throw a dart at a map of the U.S. and you probably land on a state that we have a client in. Over 50,000 likes. Appreciate it, guys. Shamrock, I'll answer you one more time. Hopefully you get this one. So if you're married to a legal permanent resident, okay, you are going to have to do consular processing. Unless your spouse is a U.S. citizen, that would put you in the immediate visa category. Okay, so unless it's your spouse is a citizen, then you are going to have to do consular processing. If your spouse is a citizen, you might be eligible to do the adjustment of status. All right. Over 50,000. There we go. So how much for a phone consultation? It's gratis. All right. Free. We do free consultations in person and on the phone. If you guys need a consultation, reach out to us. All right. 833-733-7878. All right. Ready again. 833-733-7878. Call us. Set your consultation, whether it's virtual, in person, or however you want to be. We'll talk to you guys. We'll go through your consultation for free. We'll give you, what we think your process is going to look like, estimated wait times. Or if you don't have a process and you're barred, we'll absolutely let you know that too in that consultation. Hey, Argentina in the house. I've been there many times. Love Argentina. Beautiful country. After my work permit, can I start working on my permanent residence? It depends on how you got your work permit. All right. So just because you have a work permit doesn't necessarily give you the ability to apply for residency in the U.S. Why is the 601A taking so long? Been waiting since December 2019. So you guys kind of got caught up in that pre-pandemic mix. Okay, I'm seeing the people that filed in 2019 and even early 2020, their process is taking even longer than people that filed after them. I don't know why, but I do know that that's true. You just have to keep putting in inquiries and trying to push immigration to do the right thing and to actually pick up your application again. All right. I know it froze, Wispy. I'm sorry about that, but go to the bottom line. Go to our Instagram page, follow us, then just send us a direct message. Boom, 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 in that order. All right. If you don't follow us, we're not going to see the message. We have the filter set up. It goes into a hidden folder. We don't look in there. There's all kinds of crazies in the hidden folder. All right. Thanks for the follows. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the likes. We're over 51,000. Doing good. That's it. Frankie's pinging it out there. Attorney Andrew Thomas on Instagram. All right. Gerardo, yes, you do need to be married in order for one of the spouses to petition for the other one. You'd have to provide a certificate of your marriage certificate. Rock, how long is an I-130? I'm a U.S. citizen and my wife is in Canada. Pretty close to being accurate. Could be a little more or less, but I'm thinking 12 months is looking about the right thing. So what we did recently, right before I jumped on here, we also posted a video about Title 42. You might see this in the news, okay? Title 42 that is set to expire along with the federal COVID effect on immigration, especially what's going on at the borders. Things could get a little dicey down there. We're going to see some pretty big changes, some we're right here in a battleground state. We're going to certainly see that stuff. I'm going to be letting you guys know what I see and what I think is going on. But we did post a video. If you guys have questions on anything like that, even if it's just curious, then, reach out to us. All right. I know we have a bad Wi-Fi connection, Judy. I get it. It's because it's not Wi-Fi. This is all on data. Our Wi-Fi blocks social media here. If I do these things on it is pure data, bro. It is pure data. No Wi-Fi's here because Wi-Fi, our IT is blocking social media. There's a lot of people that work here. All right. If I let them have Wi-Fi, they're gonna be on Instagram or TikTok all day. It's addictive. All right. So we'll go through a few more of these. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something urgent. Look good, look good. All right. Okay. If I'm over 21, how long will my filing process take? So it depends on who your petitioner is, or if you are the one petitioning for somebody. You can go to the Visa Bulletin. So if you Google Visa Bulletin, you can find what your relationship looks like and how long you think they'll give you an idea of how long that priority date's going to take. Okay. Mons, how long does it take if I marry a citizen? We have a child. It depends on your immigration background also. If you came with a visa and you're married to a citizen, an adjustment of status can take you around 12 months. If you didn't come with a visa and you're here and you get married to a U.S. citizen, then it's going to take considerably longer than that because you're going to have to go through consular processing. Okay, it could take you 3-4 years, could take longer than that. All right. Kathy, in order to file for your parents, you have to make a certain amount of wages, correct? No, not necessarily correct. So yes, you're technically a financial sponsor of your parents at that point, but you can use a co-sponsor. So you can sponsor them for the residency portion. If you have somebody that's willing to help with the financial sponsorship, then you can absolutely do it. All right. All right, one second. There we go. Been on here a while. All right. No worries. Shima, which is faster, fiance or spouse? I would say spouse at this point, as crazy as that is. All right. I'm just going to answer a couple more of these, but what I'll tell you is follow us on TikTok. All right. So you know when these go live. Follow us on Instagram if you want to send a direct message to us. You got to follow us, send us a direct message. We try to answer them all. Maybe not right away. Got to have a mental break from social media. All right. But we're going to get to them at some point, whether it's later today, whether it's tomorrow. We are going to get to them. We'll answer you. So follow us there on Instagram. If you need a consultation, we do free consultations. All right. Free consultations, no matter where you are in the United States or where you are, you want a consultation, give us a call. 833-733-7878. One more time. 833-733-7878. There it is. Frankie's pinging out the number. Call the number, get a free consultation, set it up and we'll talk to you. Okay. Sarah, our Instagram handle is Attorney Andrew Thomas. All right. Attorney Andrew Thomas. If you go to our bio there in TikTok, follow us there, but you'll see a little button for our Instagram. Just push that. It jumps over to the Instagram page. You can get there. Yeah, pardons are taking a long time to process just because there's a backlog of them and they take a long time for one agent to go through all the evidence. Okay, because he's making a discretionary call. It's not necessarily a straight fact-based application like a yes or a no, like an I-130. There's a lot more nuance to it. Ali, can I apply for an EAD with only an I-130 pending? No, not based on your I-130. You'd have to have some other process to apply for the work permit. All right. Nikon, I applied for my wife. How long may it take? Depends on what you applied for. But if you applied for, let's say, an adjustment of status, it's going to take you 12 months. If it's an I-130, 12 months. All right. Monica Aguiar, any change in the 10-year permanent bar? No changes. If there is a change, that would be pretty big news. Status of the mother and the wife at the same time. Yes, so you can sponsor multiple people. You can petition for multiple people. You're not limited to one at a time. All right. People do that all the time. All right. Yeah, E. Cordona, Florida laws. So yeah, I mean, my thoughts don't really matter on this, but what I can tell you is until something goes into law, I don't necessarily speculate on what I see as political games people play. And in Florida, we know the governor there has designs on the White House. So we'll see what kind of a game he's playing. We'll see where it goes from there. Seems pretty harsh. I haven't really dove into it. I'm dealing with practical stuff that actually is in play.